how cool is this? There are some scientists looking in our galaxy and beyond for alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres, which is a structure that can absorb as much energy as possible from a sun in order to power a civilization. Uh, this is a pretty cool idea in a uh, different way or different idea of looking for alien life, since it's looking for very advanced alien life compared to looking for alien life that is on par with human technology or looking for microbial life.
Of researchers say they've identified at least 7 stars that might be surrounded by super advanced alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres. Yes, I said alien structures, and I know what you're thinking, but just stay with me here, because the basic idea was this: superior intelligent life might build big structures around their home stars or planets as a way to harness or reuse that energy. A 1960s physicist who came up with this idea, Freeman Dyson, argued that if these structures existed, there'd be so much energy that human scientists on Earth could probably spot it because it would emit a lot of infrared radiation. So in this new study, researchers say they found 7 sources glowing in the infrared, those are their words, but couldn't find an obvious explanation for why these sources are glowing so much, which could mean they're Dyson spheres or something else entirely. And what I'm
They could be a type of brown dwarf, like a brown dwarf star, which is a very small star, pretty much. I think it's like the core of a small star that only radiates thermal energy. It doesn't have enough energy to produce actual light, but a planet can still get energy from a brown dwarf star if it is close enough.
saying is, what? Space is so crazy. I wish I understood it better. So let's talk to a scientist to help wrap our heads around this. I'm joined now by Professor Jana Levin. She is an astrophysicist and author of the book Black Hole Survival Guide, as well as the Claire Tow Professor of Physics and Astronomy at Barnard College of Columbia University. Professor, first of all, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I tried to explain it a little bit. That was my very dirty version. I was going to be like, yeah, but I'm an English major who just had Google. You have a PhD in physics from MIT. So how do you explain Dyson spheres?
I think there was an excellent explanation. If you look at where we are relative to the sun, we're very far away. We're the 3rd planet in. And imagine the light that we try to collect, let's say, with solar panels on people's homes or on any roofs to collect that energy. Imagine if you got really close and you caught everything the sun was emitting. It's just a tremendous amount of power. And so Freeman Dyson was thinking about this. Actually, he was originally inspired by sci-fi. Written by Olaf Stapleton like decades earlier. And his idea wasn't so much a solid sphere. It was really like satellites in orbit, a network of things that would be orbiting and would essentially, what we would now say, have solar panels and are collecting that energy.
So what do you make?
Yeah, it would be like a solar panel swarm where there are like thousands upon thousands of solar panels swarming around the sun, collecting as much energy as it could from the star, and then transferring that energy back down to the civilization needing to use it. It would be able to, such a structure would be able to, like 1 day's worth of solar energy would be enough to power Earth for 1 year. So imagine like collecting a year's worth of energy. Uh, Humans would be pretty set. The same for pretty much any other civilization that had the capability of creating a Dyson sphere.
of this study, just generally speaking, I guess. Do you think it's possible that these are the elusive Dyson spheres?
So I think it's very unlikely, but I'm open. We have to be open as scientists. If we think we know the answer before we go and observe, then we're already defeated. I think it's terribly unlikely, but it's extremely exciting and interesting to think about. And it's fun to think about. What's probably going to happen is we're going to look at this infrared signature that you mentioned, and we're going to find out that there's a natural cause. So a lot of things emit heat in the infrared. You know, infrared goggles allow us to see human bodies and the heat of human bodies. And it's not that dissimilar that when we look in the infrared, we see things emitting heat. So the idea was if we had this very technologically advanced civilization, like thousands of years beyond where we are right now, and they could build such a thing and it was collecting all this energy, it would collect also some heat and would have to cool off, and we would see that in the infrared. But there are other natural possibilities that could explain.
What do you think?
Yeah, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, dwarf stars are one of the major celestial bodies in the universe that produce a lot of thermal heat. So more than likely, these potential structures considered to be Dyson spheres are brown dwarfs, which it could give us a lot more information on brown dwarfs, which would be awesome. Or they could be, you know, stars with, you know, like a comet ring going around it, large enough to create what looks like a Dyson sphere.
Those possibly could
be? It could be a very young star that still has some material around it in kind of a disk, and that's how planets form. Planets coalesce out of these early disks, and those can emit in the infrared. It could be that there's actually an entire galaxy in the distance behind the star, and we're seeing that galaxy, and we can't disambiguate those. Or it could be planetary collisions. I mean, there are natural explanations. But I think it's worth noting, we're looking just 1,000 light years around us. That sounds far, but it's actually really close. That's our backyard. The entire Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years across, and there are probably more